Hello, everybody, and welcome to Row 60, a Georgia football podcast. My name is Clark Gaines. Joining me today, as always, Adam Thornton.
Boom, baby.
And this is show number 62. The Dogs are 5-0 on the season, and we escaped alive.
Sir, Clark, 5-0, baby.
That's it.
5-0, man. Can you believe after this game, it will be the halfway mark of the 2023 regular season, Clark? Man, it's flown by. It's flown by. January to August just drags. Drags. But, man, once you hit that Labor Day weekend, man, it just flies by. You just want to just bottle it up, man. You want to bottle it up, put it in the refrigerator, or the freezer, I should say, and be able to pull it out at a later date. That's what you want to do with the college football season, man, but you can't do it. It just goes on by. Goes on by, man.
Flies by.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, Dogs win 27-20 over the Auburn Tigers.
Yes, sir.
Whew, that was a close one, and we''s got to talk about this game. Got to break it down. Yeah, we have to break it down, Adam.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely got to be some discussion, right?
Yes, there are some lingering problems with this Georgia football team, but a lot of good, and I think a lot of people still are freaking out about this Georgia football team. It's okay, people. Just take a breath.
Calm down, man, because we're going to tell you why. To be calm about them, baby.
Right.
And to tell them why, hey, with 33% of the season over, Clark, I still think this is a national championship football team.
Me too.
Yes, sir.
Me too. Absolutely. On this episode, we're going to talk about the game day atmosphere in Auburn, Alabama. It was wild. I'll admit.
It was.
We have a singular concession stands report this week.
We do.
A patron shout out, Clark's Fun Facts, Georgia's offense, defense, and special teams versus Auburn. We're going to preview the Georgia versus Kentucky game, another ranked matchup between these two.
Big one.
A big one.
Big one because we pulled out a big game M&M, Clark.
We did,
the
yes.
Big game M&M is on set, and if you're watching on YouTube and you see the big red M&M on set, was it titled 2 years ago or last year, the big game M&M?
I think it was last year when we officially stamped it.
During the season, we put the stamp on it that this M&M sitting here, this M&M dispenser, is a big game M&M and will only be on our set when it is a monstrous football game, and that's what we have in Athens Saturday night.
Yes, it is a symbol of, a big time game.
Big game M&M.
Absolutely. Talking a lot about Georgia versus Kentucky on this show. Last week's games, several interesting ones. This week's games, and then last but not least, a game of the week.
Fired up, man.
Fired
up. Let's roll.
Let's go back in time to Saturday. And Adam, we traveled to Auburn.
We did.
What was your experience like in Auburn, Alabama? Opalenka, if you will.
Yeah, that's right. Good fellowship, man, on the car ride there and with everybody. We met up with Alan Burton and Michael Rich and Wyatt Norman and Keaton and his girlfriend and Walt Norman, excuse me. Wyatt Rich.
Wyatt Rich,
Got them all confused. I'm sorry, guys, y'all listening to that, but oh, man, been a day. But anyway, no, it was great seeing all of them, and it was always good to see the road dogs, man. You always just, you feel when you see a road dog, and you make out, especially when you're in a sea of orange and blue, man, and you see, and you see some red coming. It's like a light at the end of a tunnel just coming towards you, man. You just get excited. Like it's you're at a family reunion and you hadn't seen them in a couple years, right? So that's always exciting to be on the road, especially when you get to your seats and you see some dogs around. You had some good dogs in front of us, man, but we're definitely some blue and orange, weren't we, Clark?
We sure were. I think we got our tickets right at the edge of Georgia's section, and then the next section that we were in the end zone, it was a lot of orange and blue. But when I sat down, Adam, I don't know if I told you this, but the guys in front of us, there were about 6 of them, right? And we had 6 in our party, but it was just me that showed up. Y'all were in the concession stands. But anyway, sat down. He said, thank God we've got some Georgia fans around us, because it truly was all orange around us.
That's right.
And they did an orange out. And I got to say, Adam, they were a lot louder than I expected them to be.
Oh, yeah, man. That's one of those fan bases like South Carolina. It doesn't matter what their team's like. They're going to come to those football games, man, and they're going to be loud and rowdy. And it's a tough place to play. Always has been. Every time I've seen Georgia play in Jordan-Hare Stadium, man, I've always had a little bit of nerves going in, even if the team's like this year where you thought on paper it shouldn't be even close, right?
Yeah.
And that's a venue that could definitely that can change things here or there with the crowd and their involvement in it. And there was no different Saturday, But you said they executed an orange out, and I don't know. I think the Auburn fans had a good time there until late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, speaking about the orange out, and you brought up a good point. I think you said this in the call-in show. So they announced the orange out, and Georgia fans really did blend in on TV. I went back and watched the game on TV.
Yeah.
And it looked like there was no red and black, but I can assure you there was a lot of Georgia fans who showed up.
That's
Good
right.
play by Hugh Freeze, though, and understanding
But
colors.
the Auburn marketing team and social media team
Yeah.
getting them out there, man, saying we're going to have an orange out against Georgia. I mean,
cute.
you know, that was good. That was good by them. I mean, smart little tactic. You got to tip your hat to them on that one. But, yeah, it was good atmosphere.
I will say, though, Adam,
Yeah.
my gosh, there were about 4 or 5. And listen, let me preface this by saying I know every fan base, including the University of Georgia,
That's right.
has their bad apples. But I don't know if I've ever sat behind more obnoxious people at a college football game than the 4 or 5 college students at Auburn this past Saturday. It was awful.
Yeah, and I don't know why they weren't in the Auburn student section, why they were just randomly there. And, you know, that's just kind of a it was odd. But, yes, they were definitely being obnoxious, man. I don't know why the chair I was in, or the seat I was in, had the chair back seat in it, and it's not like at Sanford Stadium where it's bolted down. This one just slides in the bleacher right there. And when Auburn was doing good in the first quarter, old boy was kicking it, and it was going in the back of my knees, and I turned around, and I was pretty rustled at the moment, Clark, and I just said, "Hey man, you know, you got to quit it." And he said, "Oh, I'm sorry," and he didn't anymore, but definitely was a lot of composure, as Kirby would say, by us to keep our cool.
Oh, my
and
gosh.
at the end of the game, I reminded him I've seen 2 national championships, and he thought that was not a big deal, and then that's as far as I was going to let, because I was like, this guy clearly doesn't understand, you know, why you come to these games. You want to see your favorite team win a national championship. And I just basically gave him the, you know, they could chirp and do this, man. But, you know, if you're going to chirp all game and your team winds up losing, you got to have a little friendly banner, you know, receive a friendly banner back.
Exactly.
In a good way that we did. So, anywho.
Yeah, I mean, there was no ill will towards Auburn during the game. It's not like we were screaming expletives at Auburn or anything, but the guys behind us certainly were about Georgia. We had to remain calm. We were in enemy territory. I will say this right quick about one of those guys, though. During kickoffs, we'd go, obviously, we'd call the dogs, go, dogs, stick 'em, woof, woof, woof. So I'd bark. I do my bark, just like I do every single game at every single place, every single time. Anyway, one of the guys behind us, though, he started doing, and, you know, I mean, it was whatever. I didn't really care. But then he kept doing it. Every single time we'd kick off, he kept doing it. He kept doing it. So anyway, when Malachi got the final pick at the end, I made sure to turn around and give him the rowdiest, loudest bark I possibly could. And I let him know, and I made eye contact with him for the first time in the entire game, but we got the last laugh, people. What a freaking football game.
Man, you know, that's the thing about the SEC when you go on the road. And as me and you, when we buy tickets to go on the road, we're expecting that, right? I mean, you're asking upon yourself going have those bad apples that, you know, have that type of banner that might take it, a step too far in some senses. But I like it. It gets the adrenaline pumping. It'll get my adrenaline pumping in a sense. And I love it when, every fan base rival of Georgia makes fun of Georgia fans barking. And that just makes me bark much louder.
Exactly.
You know, much louder, especially because here recently, the past few years, Georgia's been winning the football games at the end of the game, and I could just bark loud. And that way you're still doing it in a classy manner.
Sure.
But you're getting under their skin.
Yes,
you know, you're getting under their skin with it. And I love that, man. I love that. So that's what makes Southeastern Conference football so special on the road, Clark.
Agreed. Adam, hit us with that weekly concession stands report.
Boom, Clark. Let me tell you what, I got a pretzel before the game with a cheese cup. And, I will say that this pretzel, the salt was the right amount.
Really?
Good pretzel. Not, we've talked about maybe the Sanford Stadium pretzels being a little bit too much of salt applied in it, but this one was fine. I will say it was a terrible mess going to the concession stands. Like no structure to the lines whatsoever.
Wow.
No rope mazes to really go through, man. And I was going to go get a hot dog, but one of the lines was just in complete turmoil. You know, didn't know where anybody was doing. Too crowded of kind of the hallway right there, and had to go to a side cart. So I mean, I was appreciative of the side carts with a little clutter over there, and be able to scoop up a pretzel, right, and a Dasani water, and that was good. But I also, Clark, I got a bag of roasted peanuts. I said I'm going to get a pretzel and a water and a bag of roasted peanuts to just a snack on during the game.
A lot of sodium.
Right. So, but I mean, we're not worried about sodium intake at a college football game.
You may want to be.
I mean, in life in general, but are you really going to concession stand on a Saturday in the Southeast at a football game worried about the calories, the sodium intake, or whatever?
Calories, no. Definitely sodium,
but
though.
sodium intake at a college football game.
Well, you may get dehydrated.
Well,
it was
that's
hot.
why you got water, man. That's why you got water, and you drink water beforehand, man. You sip on some good water, and that'll alleviate those problems, right? So anyway, I got the peanuts in Clark. I didn't crack them open until the third quarter.
Adam, well, tell the people, the patrons already know this, but tell the people kind of what happened whenever we started eating those peanuts.
I was getting a little rustled at that point in time. I was fidgety. And if people have been around me at a football game, I'm a completely different person. Like from people who interact with me on a daily basis at work or everywhere else, I get in a zone when the toe meets leather with 15 minutes in the first quarter till the end of the fourth quarter. I'm in a zone where I block everything else out going on around me. So it's just especially when games get tight like that, I'm just fidgety a little bit, And I told Clark, I said, look, and it's when things weren't going too well for Georgia, and I looked at Clark and Sam, who went with us, and Kelsey and Caitlin and McKay and everybody, all 7 of us or 6 of us that were on our road. And I said, everybody's going to get about 3 or 4 of these peanuts, these roasted peanuts here. We're going to all eat us a roasted peanut, and that's going to get a good momentum swing, right? And we did, and they were terrible peanuts. They were horrible. Those were the worst peanuts I've ever had. Yeah. And it made me thankful for Sanford Stadium's Texas Roadhouse brand peanuts, man. And it definitely weren't them. I mean, they were stale, they were awful. But we did eat some peanuts, man. And hey, what happened?
It changed. I mean, we scored. We went right down the field, and Dejan scored a touchdown. So there was something to those peanuts.
And they weren't good. And obviously, we all know that don't swing a football game. But I like doing that, and it worked. Well, so the next time, we always got to equip ourselves from here on out until it doesn't work, because you keep doing it until it doesn't work anymore, right? And so from here on out, I'm going to always have a stash of some peanuts, pregame, and not eat them and break the seal on the daggum thing until needed. Hopefully we don't need it, but if needed, they're there. It needs to have a label. And I encourage everybody else to do the same.
Yes, it needs to have a label on the peanuts that say, do not open unless
clutch moments needed.
A clutch moment needed, required.
Yes, exactly. So that's kind of where we're at now with our new weird food intake a bag of roasted peanuts to have on hand in necessary situations.
And I think the more people that get them and wait until those clutch moments, the better. Maybe it's just you add the kind of the mojo, if you will.
The juice. That's right.
Juice,
That's right. Oh,
so, man. Last thing I want to say about concession stands right quick. So I was actually very impressed by this. At the end of the game, there was still a stand operating, Adam, where you could go in, and it was more of a grab and go kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you could still, on the road.
I like that, man.
I like that.
Because I need a water coming out of the stadium, man.
Right.
I'm a little parched after.
Exactly.
Right? So, need a good drink. So, that's good on them.
Well,
we'll
I feel
tip our hat to that.
Yeah, I feel like you're leaving money on the table by not doing that. I'm not saying you have to have every stand open, but hey, Sanford Stadium.
They shut them down early.
Right. I mean, it's done in the fourth quarter.
That's right.
Early on, so.
Well, that's good. Let me do this real quick. Let me shout out our good friends at Peach State Pride, Clark.
Yeah.
Everybody, we've talked about this, but go visit Peach State Pride. We've talked about their game day polos, Georgia hats. I always wear one if you're watching on YouTube, this Georgia hat. Love how it fits, but not only game day apparel, but anything you need, to look dress right. Classy man or woman, go to peachstatepride.com and check them out. Just good people over there who love the state of Georgia and have great Georgia apparel. And there's something for everybody, no matter what your interests are, what your style is. And you can find it at peachstatepride.com.
And they've got stores all across the state of Georgia.
Right.
I think they opened one down south. Can't remember the exact location, but I know they have one in Athens. One
in Watkinsville.
They have one in Hartwell. I mean, kind of all over, but and you can find those locations online. So, yeah.
Let's go check them out, baby. Woo!
Yes.
Love it.
Love Peach State Pride. They have supported us literally from day one. Derek Chitwood and
day one.
His people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a great story from how that company was built from the ground up and what they've come into today. And it's something that represents, I think, all the hardworking people in the state of Georgia.
Right.
And you look good doing it, man. You look good wearing those products. So, yes, sir. Y'all check them out.
All right. Let's shout out another person, Adam.
Okay.
Mr. Wyatt Fielder from Monroe, Georgia. He is
Tell us about
now a patron.
Awesome.
And he is subscribed, and we appreciate you, Wyatt.
We salute you, Wyatt.
Yes. And he's been a big supporter of the show long before Patreon, even now. I mean, he's always shouted us out on Facebook, and hey, we greatly appreciate
We greatly appreciate it.
Yes.
Greatly.
I was about to mix up the word appreciate and support. but we do
Old
greatly.
tongue-tied there.
Yes.
Old tongue twister.
Exactly. We do appreciate you, Wyatt, and everybody who supports
do.
us.
God
Whether you're
bless
Patreon or
y'all.
not, you are supporting us,
God
even
bless
by
y'all
listening.
all, man.
Yep. So thank y'all. And then I wanted to say, as always, you're helping us to build that community of people all across the nation.
Hey, that's exactly right, man. And y'all come jump on in, and I cannot wait for the conversation and the ride with each and every one of y'all watching this right now for the next 7 games, because it's going to be a fun one.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be an interesting one.
Absolutely. Well, hey, if you're not on
Yes,
Patreon
sir.
yet and you want to be, just visit patreon.com/row60, or you can visit the Patreon app. It's just $5 a month, and every single penny helps us to make more content for
Yes, sir.
everybody. All right, Clark's fun facts.
Boom,
Here we go.
boom, boom.
The last time,
I'm sorry, you got to wait for me to
Okay.
get done with my random stuff I'm saying into the microphone.
there's a boom always intermixed with the jingle nowadays. With whether it's game of the week or fun facts, it could be it will have the jingle, but then there's an immediate
That's what
boom.
makes it raw and special, man.
Oh man, Clark's fun facts. Here we go. The last time Georgia gave up 200 yards on the ground was 2018
I figured
versus
that's what it was.
the Bayou Bengals.
Terrible day
Oh,
in
yeah.
Tiger Stadium.
That's awful.
Don't like to remember that.
Nah, we got shellacked, and our season kind of went downhill after that. Honestly,
It did.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, Kentucky. This is not a fun fact about Georgia. Listen to this. Kentucky beat Florida for the 3rd straight time this past Saturday. This is only the 2nd time that's happened since the end of World War II.
yeah, Clark. I mean, when you talk about flipping a series, they have flipped a series. Kentucky has against Florida. I think. For a while there, they lost like 31 straight.
Yeah.
I know it was over 30. It was either 30, 31 straight or so until Stoops broke it in 2018, and now they've won. Yeah, 4 since 2018.
No,
They won in 2018, and then this is the 3rd one.
I think there's.
They lost in.
Well, this says 3 consecutive.
Yeah. But I'm saying they've won since 2000. They won it in 2018 to break the streak, and then they lost in 19 and 20, and now they've won in 21,
22, 23. Yes, that's right. That's right.
I think that's right.
Yeah, that is.
Sounds
that
right.
is.
All right.
And then my last fun fact: Georgia has won 22 consecutive games.
Wow.
That's regular season games. That's SEC championship games. That's bowl games. That's national championships.
That's G-Days.
Yes, and G-Days. That now ties 22 ties the 2008 and 2009 Florida teams for 5th longest streak in SEC history.
Wow.
That is amazing.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
So Tim Tebow, buddy, we only need one more.
That's right.
So look out. Look out, Urban Meyer.
Yes, sir.
Where is Urban Meyer these days? Is he just on TV, the Fox, whatever?
I don't know. I think he is on there, but I don't watch him. I'm not
Yeah.
supporting anything that man's on.
Me neither. All right, Georgia's offense versus Auburn.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Here we go. Let's just go up the high dive, Clark. Go up the diving board, man, and let's just do a nose dive right into this thing. Get a good leap on the diving board. Get on up there, get elevated, and dive straight into it.
You said all that just to say, essentially, let's just dive into it.
Exactly.
I love it, Adam.
Exactly.
I love
Yeah,
it.
that's how-
You're always
that's-
taking it one step further.
One step up a notch.
And I
Cranking
like
it up
it.
a notch.
I
So
like it.
we're going to crank this episode up right here because it's in the middle of the season. It's time to get the energy level up. It's time to get juiced a little bit. You should be getting juiced. You have a 5-0 Georgia football team, no matter what it's been. Because stuff's been said, Clark, the past couple of days about this football team that I don't particularly care for.
I don't agree with
care
either.
for. So you got a 5-0 team, still ranked number 1 in the nation, going for a three-peat. So get fired up about it, baby.
Yeah.
Get fired up about it. So that's why I have an emphasis that we need to talk about this. We need to crank this up about 5 notches on the dial. Crank this up about 5 notches on your radio dial, or hit that little straight arrow button on your iPhone, Android, or whatever else there is out there now. And let's get fired up about some ball. All right.
I'll tell you who I'm fired up about, Adam, is Carson Beck. He
Yes,
is growing
sir.
up before our very eyes.
Yes, he is.
23
Proud of him.
of 33 for 313 yards. He had 1 pick and 1 touchdown. And let's be honest here. The 1 interception he threw,
Yeah.
it wasn't a bad position. I think the Simpson kid, he made a great play. But on that play, Adam, and I'm not saying it's all sunshine and rainbows for Carson Beck. He missed a couple. He missed one on that play, and I know they didn't show it on TV. We had Marcus Rosemary Jack Saint or maybe it was rah-rah on that. I can't remember, one or the other, streaking downfield.
That's right.
Past that interception.
Right. That's right.
Then obviously he missed Oscar Delp for, I thought, what was going to be a wide open touchdown. And I don't know if that was Carson or Oscar.
Carson. That's right.
I think it may have been a combination. I do think once Oscar, and I think most people know what I'm talking about here, once Oscar got to that third level, I think he should have cut more inside.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what you do. If you're a receiver, you cut down the distance of the throw if you start working inside as opposed to outside. So
you're exactly right.
That comes from my JV football coaching knowledge.
That's
right
exactly
there.
right. Hey, that's dead on, man. I wanted to point this statistic out, Clark, just kind of bring a little light to the people.
Okay.
Now, this was from my wife, Kelsey. She found this on the interwebs and sent it to me today. So, you can believe everything, but I think these are some accurate stats. The first 4 games of Stetson Bennett's career, or last year, 2022, and then the first 4 games for Carson Beck. And this is not adding into what happened at Auburn, which I would almost argue at this point in time in the season, Carson's stats would be better. But Stetson Bennett was 92 for 124 with 1,224 yards and 5 touchdowns. Carson Beck is 93 for 128 with 1,184 yards and 6 touchdowns, man. So almost mirror. So you get to talking about all these people from day one that we've talked about this. Since this podcast began this season, we've defended Carson Beck, man, and I think you're finally seeing him just grow. A huge step growing up, Clark, to your point, man, in the sense of what he did in that road environment and putting a clutch situation, not just going out there and just I guess having a day where he plays the first half, we overpower them. He has back against the wall, man, had to lead a drive late in the fourth quarter to win a game in a hostile SEC environment. It didn't ever look like to me in that fan from the stands that the moment ever got too big for him.
Yeah, I agree. The moment also was not too big for Mike Bobo. I thought Mike Bobo called a great game. And if you can honestly sit there and say, I didn't like Mike Bobo's play calling, you got something wrong with you this game.
That's right.
I mean, truly. It was creative. I thought we did. I think it was kind of a balanced attack. I mean, more pass heavy, right? We had 313 passing yards. I think we only had maybe 107 yards on the ground. So that's not necessarily balanced, but we ran the ball effectively, I thought, when we needed to. Yeah. But hey, I mean, Carson took what the defense gave him. I thought he did great. I thought Mike Bobo had some creative play calls. There were a lot of things, once again. There were several plays where we had a guy streaking downfield. Yeah. And I don't know if it's Carson's not seeing it. I don't know if it's Carson's just looking for the safe check down. I don't know what it is.
Do you think that's what I was going to ask you, Clark, because the only and it shouldn't even be a knock, because it's not like he's just throwing in double coverage, missing guys and turning him personally. I mean, I know he had 1 pick, but throwing 3 interceptions a game, right? And so I don't even want to call it a slight knock, but something to take that next step up to where we want to see this offense go. As good as it's been, we feel like so far, as good as Carson's been so far, we feel like. Do you think it's more of handcuffs on Carson that Bobo and staff's not wanting him to really push the ball downfield as much? Kind of that's where the mindset's been. Just take what the defense gives you, check down route, short route. Or do you think it's truly progression's not reading it?
I think it's Carson just not quite there yet in terms of getting. Well, and listen, he's got he could throw the football a million.
Right. The arm strength's there. It's not like he's scared of
the receivers are there. Open,
the separation's there.
Separation's there. And once again, if you're watching on TV, it's hard to see these. A lot of times they don't show the wide angle shot, but I saw it several times the other day. I saw it at UAB. I saw it at Carolina. There were just those deep balls that are open, yet we're just not hitting them. And once again, I would much rather, and you just mentioned this, I would much rather have a guy hit the safe check down than try to force something into double or triple coverage every day of the week. And Kirby would agree with that. Mike Bobo, and really any college football mind out there would probably agree.
Absolutely, Clark. You're 100% right, man. But I tell you what, Clark, I saw a difference in him in the second half where it almost looked like he started playing with, I don't know, a little bit more loose maybe.
Yeah.
And I know that's crazy. You wouldn't have thought that. You would have thought by human nature in those situations, the game not going maybe how everybody thought it was going to go in the sense of just the average fan with how Auburn's been. But in a tough SEC environment, you find yourself tied, man, going in the second half. But it seemed like he loosened up more, and he was able to let it rip more. So maybe do you see going forward that you see a more, I don't know, loosey, more swaggery. Is that even a word? Swaggery Carson, who might be just being able to cut it loose a little bit.
Yeah.
Clark. To let his hair down and just cut it loose a little bit, right?
I hope
just
so.
have a good time. But in all seriousness, I really did think that he'd look more confident in the second half, and I think he's just getting there more and more each game, and the stats are proving, man, he's doing phenomenal. I think if you look at stats wise and everything else, I think he's doing good, but some stuff here and there, and then it's going to be rolling, baby.
And let's not forget, this was Carson's, not only just his first road game, not only his first SEC road game starting, I should say. This was his first SEC road game in Jordan-Hare. And I don't care what people say, that is a tough environment to play, and they made it tough for him. And here's another thing I wanted to point out. We did not, as far as I know, I'm pretty sure this is the case, we did not have a single false start or procedural penalty on offense.
Right.
That's big.
That is huge, man.
Going on the road
like that and having a silent snap count like that's monstrous. And and especially with the offensive line, different guys there, know, and everything. So that is a big, big, big win for Georgia right there. That's something I hadn't thought about, Clark, until you just pointed out. But yeah, it was good. I think Carson did a good job with this offense. If there's one thing else too, and I mean, because I'm a monstrous Carson Beck fan, I want to see just a little bit more, and I think you saw a little bit of just a little bit more, like getting up in the linemen's, patting them, on the shoulder, like getting leadership. Just a little bit more, it's a little bit more body language of that on the field, like aggression, excitement, and everything. But hey, it might not be his style, but I think golly, it just seems like it's like an onion, Clark, and you're just peeling back every layer of it, get to his, the confidence and the breakthrough even more. But I mean, he's done phenomenal, man, and we are blessed to have him as the quarterback of this 2023 Georgia offense.
Agreed. I also think having Ladd back obviously is huge for offense. It opens up the offense in so many different ways. He's that deep threat. He made 3 catches, I believe, on third down. I mean, big third downs too. He runs such a good route. I watch him every time he's out on the field, and he just cuts so well. He creates that separation like I think no other Georgia receiver can do right now.
Yeah.
True receiver. I'm not talking – Brock Bowers not including that, but I think another thing, one last thing about Ladd too, his perimeter blocking.
Oh, yeah.
That's something we've missed up to this point.
That's a good point, Clark. That's a good point. I don't think that's being talked about. You're exactly right. He's just solid to have out there, man. And it's amazing how he could not play since Los Angeles in January and come out there and look like he's a midseason performer.
Exactly.
Man. And I tell you, that's one more thing to say about Carson, too, that you reminded me on some of those third downs was a lot of just long out routes breaking towards the sideline, Clark, that you have to put some juice on the ball in order to complete that pass or not have it picked off going back 6 the other way. That that Carson Beck has the ability to get the ball out there and convert on, man. Right. And that's good to see. Yeah. That's good to see.
Marcus Rosemary, Jack St. too. I don't have him on my notes here, but I just remember he had several of those catches. He's just one of those reliable guys.
Ra had a big one.
Ra had a big one. Yeah, several. I mean, they all stepped up when they needed, but I mean, Adam, let's just talk about the elephant in the room. Brock Bowers, he absolutely took over the fourth quarter.
Just tip your hat.
4 catches for 121 yards, and we'll call it the game-winning touchdown. I mean, that is what it was. It was 2020, and then he made it 27-20.
That's right. Just those safeties want no part of them. Those Auburn DBs. If you've seen the replay and if you noticed it on TV or live in person, man. But if not, go back and watch Bowers' touchdown for the last one of the game right there, and watch number 4 specifically. Try to arm tackle.
I genuinely thought maybe he was just letting him go to the end zone and get the ball back quicker.
Right.
I thought he may have allowed that.
But he literally just he wanted no part of it. None.
Would you, Adam?
I want no part of it. Oh, but the good Lord didn't give me the body type to be out there trying to get a part of it. No.
Golly. I mean, there's really not much else to say about Brock. I feel like we get to this point every show, and we start talking about Brock, and there's no words to describe the guy.
We're just saying that for us who was not around in the early 1980s, we're watching our generation's Herschel Walker. We won't see somebody as good as Brock Bowers ever again, especially at the tight end position. And just a football player, man, the best football player in the country. And we just need to savor every moment that we get to watch him play. Yeah. And, when you have guys like him, I mean, golly, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit.
I mean, He's up there. Top 3 Georgia football players of all time,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Especially, I mean, the hardware he already has in his trophy room at the house, you know,
In the house.
at the house, you know, and that he's helped contribute for the team ones that's in Butts Mirror right now. Already tells you what you need to know about him, and you know, on the way to a third one, man. So it's good to see because you're seeing that he played banged up.
Right.
A lot, and he still might be. I don't know, but it seems like the past 2 games is like they're opening up him more, targeting him more, right?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if this is him playing banged up, could you imagine?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I think he's good now, but you're
yeah.
seeing that, you know, because we talked about even, and there are a lot of games you didn't need to risk injury by, you know, making him a primary target in the offensive game plan. But now you're seeing it, and you saw it when the game was on the line. What can happen, man? And I don't care if you're a defense coordinator, you bracket coverage them. It doesn't matter,
Right?
It doesn't matter,
No,
Clark.
it really doesn't. Georgia. One thing I wanted to point out too. Georgia won on third downs. Right, we went 8 for 13, and you don't want to get in those third down situations. But if you do, you want to be able to convert and sustain drives and keep them alive. So that was big. Also, Dejon and Dylan Bell got us a tough 107 yards on the ground.
Yeah,
You know,
good to see. Let's talk about the running back room real quick, Clark. I thought it wasn't Dejon's best day, but he did fine.
Right,
he did
right.
fine. You know, and I think Dylan Bell, man, I love seeing him get the football. Clark, it's amazing how the burst he has and the quickness. I think he'll keep getting totes, especially with Lab back in the receiver room now, that he might be more needed to get the ball out of the backfield.
Yeah.
Dylan Bell will, man. But I will say this. I think the running game, and this goes to the offensive line, I guess you could really say that it wasn't the best to running between the tackles, and I think we struggled with that all year. But I felt like we were getting some whenever we did run it off tackle, Clark.
Yeah,
we were picking up, and it felt like we went away from that a little bit.
Right, the sweeps, the stretches, outside runs.
Right, exactly. So I think I'd love to see a little bit of that mixed in going forward some maybe. And it just seems like the draw we're maybe getting 2 or 3 yards. You're not getting stuff in the backfield every time and losing yardage, but you're not just getting any explosives, right? With the draws in most cases, man. But all in all, I think the offensive line did really good pass pro.
Me too. Yeah,
I not terrible run blocking, but not probably. Let's just say they're not sitting in the meeting room with Stacey Searles proud of their run blocking effort, right? But the pass pro was very well. I think gave Carson a lot of clean pockets and a lot of time to throw the football.
And they blitzed a lot.
They did
Saturday. So
they did, and it was good to see Kendall Milton back, man. And that's one thing you like when you see Kendall Milton in right now where he's at. He's going to be back there because he's so good at picking up those blitzes. Right. That's what reminded me of him being back. So.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, I mean, I think going into this game, everybody thought maybe this is the game that kind of comes together, even on the road. You saw what A&M did to Auburn earlier a couple weeks ago, but you know, it's hard to win football games, any football game for that matter, if you're turning the ball over twice in your own 50. I mean, that killed us. And moving forward, we have got to get better. And thank the Lord, Dejon Edwards, his knee was down first and then his forearm. So both of those got him down, and we didn't fumble again.
That's hard, Clark. And we talked about it, and I have to eat crow because I thought this was going to be a game Georgia win 31-10.
Me too.
And I really did. Just thought it would all click on the road, and they would just outman this Auburn team on both sides of the trench. I couldn't have been more wrong. But I'm so proud of, like you said, because we did say if this game is close, you can't have the penalty yardage or the turnovers like we did, and let this crowd hang around in the game. But they let them did it, and they still won.
Yeah,
they still won, Clark.
Yeah.
That's what's so amazing. And even also just coming out of the locker room, getting the ball first possession and on offense, and then turning it over on the first play from scrimmage like that. And like you said, inside our own 50. Giving Auburn huge field position, getting the crowd even more jolted into it. That's a tough hole to put yourself in, man. And I think this was the largest road margin, 10 since in the Kirby Smart area to come back from trailing since 2016, being down 10-0 at Columbia, Missouri, when Jacob Eason hit Isaiah McKenzie there at the end to win. That was the largest deficit that Georgia's come back from on the road.
Wow!
Since then in the Kirby area.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yep, that's exactly right. So, so I mean, this team grew up. I think they're finding an identity more and more every week. But what it is, they're tough, Clark. They're tough, and they believe in themselves. And no moment, that's one thing, no moments ever. There's not going to be one moment this whole year, whether they play 15 games, 12 games, whatever, that the moment will be too big for this Georgia roster, Clark, because that is the culture that is built. The culture that is built and established and the rooted now in Athens, Georgia, is these teams don't get intimidated and moments are never too big for these guys. That's just the culture that Kirby Smart and his staff has. And when you have that culture and that expectation, even though sometimes it's not as pretty as us the fans like to see, and we want to see fans complain about it, they win football games. It wins you football games.
Yeah. Hey, as long as you put a W up,
that's all that matters, man. And people don't realize how tough it is to go on the road and play.
Exactly, especially in the SEC. All right, other side of the football, Georgia's defense. Adam, despite what everybody's saying, I think we played pretty well. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
And some people would certainly disagree with me. And there's some bad things I found. And I watched some tape.
Did you get a little film in, a little study? Yeah.
On the DVR, the dish hopper, whatever they have.
I'll just say one thing, 2 words.
Okay.
I want you, and I'm going to say this, and then I want you to go back into your thoughts, and I'm going to shut up for a little bit. Eye discipline.
Eye discipline.
Eye discipline. I'll expound on that later.
Yeah, I see what you're getting at for sure. Setting the edge, Adam, certainly kind of the big elephant in the room, if you will, is a problem. And
I love just say setting the edge. We need to set the edge.
We need to set the edge. It makes you sound smart.
That edge needs to be set.
Right. There's a couple different ways you can say
set the edge.
Set the edge.
We're just not setting the edge, man.
We're just
get that edge set.
Right.
Don't let them break containment.
Don't let them break
containment.
Containment. You can use those interchangeably.
That's right. Edge set and containment.
Right. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but
are you?
I'm wondering, is it a scheme thing or is it we just don't have the horses?
You read my mind because I think you're going to talk about something I was going to bring up. So continue.
Well, let me just put it this way,
because I have an interesting theory.
Okay, all right. Let me just put it this way. We miss number 4. Number 4, Nolan Smith, in years past, has done something that I don't think anybody this year has been able to do that well, and that is to, quote unquote, set the edge.
Set the edge.
Really. I mean,
and
he crashes in. He's able to make a tackle if the quarterback keeps the ball and goes out.
Yeah.
He's able to make a tackle and crash inside and hit the running back if they give it, right?
Right.
He has speed on the edge, right?
Right.
And so I think without calling anybody out, all I'm trying to say is I just wish we had Nolan Smith or a guy similar to him.
Right.
And we're starting to see that we don't have that guy right now.
Right.
Now, hopefully there is a guy that steps up and really takes over and is able to really play that edge position.
Okay. All right. So Saturday I was saying the same thing. You know, to the guy we're referring about, you're right there beside me. And I was saying it more repeatedly. But let me play devil's advocate for 1 second.
Sure.
Even though just to ponder, let's have a discussion about it. Because I don't know. Personally, I don't know because it could be right. But I'm almost thinking that it's like that and there's other stuff going on that you could correct it. But are we as the average fan looking into it? Is his assignment to over pursue?
Could be.
To over pursue and somebody else crashing inside. Yeah, crashing inside and somebody else is missing their assignment and he's actually doing what's supposed to. But it looks like to us that it's so blatantly just
that could certainly be the case. But my point is Nolan was able to do both.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I agree.
Nolan could crash inside
100%.
Playing that kind of, not really an end, but I mean he was more of an outside linebacker. But he could crash inside and still make a tackle if the ball was pulled. He had that kind of break, that speed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we just don't have that guy. So now instead of one guy doing it, now you got to have 2. And that's okay. I mean, there's ways of figuring out, but I don't know.
No, you're right. I agree with you on that too. I just got to thinking about it because I got to thinking about it in the sense of, is he doing what he's asked to do to the best? And I think he is. That us as just the average fan, it might just say, oh, we don't know anything. It looks blatantly obvious to us.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I don't know in the sense, but I will call this the edge will be set and corrected.
Yeah, this week
in Jacksonville.
No, okay.
I don't think this week.
No, you don't.
I don't think this week. I think after the bye week. I don't think. But overall, man, to linebacker plays, of course, what we're alluding to, outside and we want to talk about the inside.
Yeah, the speed's just, we're getting there.
Yeah, it's the same inside linebackers that won us a national championship on historic defense last year. And I tell you one thing, Clark, we talked about this. I think truly what a lot of people need to realize and think intelligently about this, and I could be wrong on it, but it seems like a good thought, is you had monsters the past 2 years. Devontae White, Jordan Davis, and primarily Jalen Carter, like last year, who had to be double teamed when they were on the field, right, Clark? Mm-hmm. So that's one less hat that can get out there and get on the second level and block a linebacker, correct? And block you. So is it that, and also when you have that much penetration in the inside, does it bounce if it's a running play or a quarterback trying to be elusive in the pocket, that disruption, that initial push from the inside and blowing up the center and through the A gaps, have we been used to it the past 2 years, pushing the ball more towards the outside?
Of course,
and that allows those inside linebackers to take better angles, have more time to take a better angle is what I should say, and more speed to get, to make that sideline to sideline play look easier to us, the naked eye in the stands, right? And is it a product of we just don't have the dudes back there, or it's just different that we just saw all-world ridiculous defensive tackle play for 2 years, and we didn't really know how to appreciate not only just the sacks and the stops that those guys were getting, but how each and every play when they were on the field was effective.
Yeah, no, you're right. 88 was a generational talent. Jalen Carter, there will never be, well, I say that. I hope there is. I highly doubt there's going to be another Jalen Carter anytime soon. Jalen Carter, and what you're talking about, he just had to be double teamed. Jordan Davis, even Devontae Wyatt, those guys had to be double teamed.
They were causing havoc every play.
Right. I don't know if we have that this year. Maybe we do. I hope we do.
There's talented guys on that defensive line.
Then there certainly are, yeah.
Because I got to say, I got to eat crow because I'm the idiot who was talking about at the beginning of the preseason that this could be one of the best Georgia Bulldog defenses on paper.
We said could.
The secondary is elite, with talent, and you just look at the guys who played so much football on the defensive line that, man, you just completely, and we heard some talking heads and some people who are in the know this summer talk about that, and the defensive line, what we talked about, there's just a lot of guys returning this play. Like, we didn't take into account not only the leadership, but how special number 4 was, and losing guys, not having a Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter on. So really, really just unfair of me to even think that, and I eat crow for that. But that does not mean, Clark, that this defense is not going to be good and one of the top, if not the top in the country by the end of the year, because what we said last episode, what we've got to stop doing is comparing this rendition of Georgia football to the 2021-2022 teams.
Yeah.
Let this team have its own identity.
Right. Well, I will say this too. Early on, it seemed like we had no idea how to defend an RPO, and that's all Auburn ran all day. And I think we had that. Surely to goodness, we thought Robbie Ashford was going to play, and I'm sure they game planned for that. But when Peyton Thorne pulled that ball and took it 61 yards early in the game, I was like, oh boy, something is not right. On that play, there was one thing that really stood out to me, is how poor our safeties angles were. They were bad. And they got sucked inside. Our middle linebackers got sucked inside. Eye discipline. Yep. And that's what it is. And we're going to work on that. That was correct. I will say that was corrected, especially in the second half. They tried to do some quarterback draws. They tried to do some of this, more RPO stuff. It seemed like we got a lot of it corrected if the quarterback got it. But it is really concerning when they were able to get out on the edge. I thought they ran the ball very effectively. I mean, they obviously did, because they had 200 yards for the first time since 2018 against the Georgia defense.
Yeah, and that's something everybody likes to bring up, that 200 yards. But yeah, like you said, right off the rip, but their second offensive possession, they rip off a 60-yard gainer.
Right, you take that away.
And and also, like you said, the short field position. Defense was on the field a long time.
They were.
And but you did see the Georgia strength program and conditioning, I think, kick in and see where our athletes are compared to Auburn's late in the game who started dropping like flies.
If those were actual injuries.
Yeah, but so I think that's what kicked in. It was a culture win in the sense of just this team still expect, no matter. We talked about South Carolina, but that's at home. This is a whole different animal on the road, man. And to be able to do it on the road just shows what you have and what this team's made of, man. And I'm excited. I really am excited going forward. I know you're like, oh, Adam, you say this every week. You build them every week. We're going to kill the next opponent. I'll be out. And then it's a win, man. And you just got to keep looking at it, dissecting it in a way, and think outside the box of it, not just what you hear old Joe down the street saying, in the sense of when you see him at work the next day, you're saying that, well, we need to get rid of Bobo, Carson Beck, yada, 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 yada. Really take the time just to dissect and think about it and look at the college football landscape around and other teams around and what's happening there. And then you'll start feeling good about where Georgia football is.
Right.
And stop comparing it to the past couple years, man.
It's not the same.
You're going to be disappointed if you look at this team in the red and black glasses of those 2 years. But the same goal that those 2 years had can still be achieved. It just might not be 3 touchdown wins this year.
Yeah, yeah.
Or it could be. It could be. In some
Moving forward.
cases. We'll see.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say about the defense, just like the offense, we won third downs on the defense.
Yeah, we did. Great point.
Auburn was only 2 of 12 on third downs.
Yeah.
So we forced them to punt. We forced them to think, oh, man, do we go for it on fourth down and that kind of thing. So that's good. That's what you want as a defense. I think we did tighten up there. And once again, it's tough. It's tough to keep points off the board when your offense turns the ball over within your own 50.
That's right, man.
I thought played well for the hand they were dealt a couple times. So good on the defense.
And crunch time, man, when they needed a big play, maybe Malachi Starks makes a big play, big interception there. So yeah, I said I figured they would attack us on the ground. I didn't think they'd be as successful attacking us on the ground. I thought it would be Robbie Ashford doing a lot of quarterback running, RPO stuff instead of Peyton Thorne. So I was completely wrong on that. Clark got to eat crow on that.
Me too.
But yeah, Auburn didn't run much RPO stuff. I don't think previously before this week.
Oh,
we weren't expecting that.
Yeah.
So a lot of guys in there that were really, I mean, what an RPO does, it freezes up, especially that second level and those linebackers from seeing what the quarterback, obviously, RPO, for those who don't know, is a run pass option. And the quarterback is designed, the quarterback has 3 different things it could do with the football. And run it, give it, hand off to the running back. Keep it himself, or he's got a short intermediate route that he can throw the football to, man. And you got to have good eye discipline with that. I don't know if we expected it as much, but that's something going forward that this team will get better at. And and when we see it, quick shout out two guys. Malachi Starks is a stud too. Going to be one of those guys that we're like, man, we should have enjoyed him more when he was here at that safety position. And also, C.J. Allen's going to be a man for us. He's going to be good. You're seeing him get more and more playing time in that inside linebacker spot. And he's got all the tools, man. I think he's got good sideline speed, Clark.
Also, we totally forgot to mention this.
Oh, did we?
2 other guys. Michael Williams, huge addition again to this defense. And then Javon Bullard.
Best passer. Yeah.
Javon Bullard.
That's right.
Big time playmaker back out on the field. So starting to get these guys back, especially
getting
on defense.
Your smile, getting healthier, man. And me and you have no idea when they're going to be at 100%.
Right.
And
but hey,
I don't know. I'm like you though. I think we're going to be fine.
Yeah, we'll be just fine. We'll be just fine. Georgia's special teams, Adam. Peyton Woodring.
Hey, you got to give this man a clap,
let's
man.
give him a clap.
Especially us talking about it and stuff. And we said some stuff, but he's definitely making a lot of people eat some crow. When it was asked of him in clutch moments, what did he do, Clark?
He kicked 2 for 2.
That's right.
Clutch field goals.
That's right.
And Adam, I have to believe, if I'm Peyton, and I miss several at home, and I'm sulking a little bit, and I go into Auburn, a big game, and an SEC game, and a game we got to win, and I make 2 clutch field goals, I'm feeling pretty good. And that's giving me some confidence.
You dang
and
right.
Adam, I think that's just what the doctor ordered for old Peyton. I think the yips, hopefully, knock on wood,
oh, no, you
are over.
Them. No, yeah, when you go in hostile territory like that and you drill a couple of them, man, any voodoo witchcraft, type dolls, pin doll type deals are eradicated.
Eradicated.
Done.
Okay.
Done, Clark. Done. The bad mojo is gone.
Yeah, I agree.
Gone. Awesome, Peyton. I mean, that was awesome, man.
Yeah.
We were fired up about that up there. And
I'll be honest, I didn't watch them, but
it was
I celebrated.
Yeah. I always sat there just looking down at the ground like, oh, man, please make this feel
Please. And then it didn't help that the Auburn guys that were sitting behind us, they were like, oh, their kicker sucks, yeah. But then it was sweet when the ball just soared right through the uprights. Oh, right quick, too. It was pretty funny. We were sitting there, and I think it was the first field goal he made. He actually kicked it over the All-State field goal net, which doesn't happen very often.
He did.
And the ball, if you've never seen this, if you've never been to an away game and sat in the away section, or any game for that matter,
right,
in the end zone, if the ball lands in the crowd, it's going to get tossed out of the stadium if you're the opposing team.
Right.
Which is kind of funny. And Georgia fans have done it before.
Man, it's funny.
Right?
It's a good time.
Kind of funny.
Ha, ha,
yeah, ha, cute. Well, it wasn't very funny the other day. And so anyway, the ball traveled almost all the way up, and the last person to catch it was a Georgia fan. And it was glorious because he got it. And then you see all these Auburn fans just start swarming to him.
Trying to rip the football.
Trying to literally hugging this guy, like trying to rip the football. So he had great ball security.
Great ball security.
As he traveled down the steps, he went all the way down to row 1. I mean, we were like row 57, 59, something like that. Went all the way down and tossed it to the Georgia.
Yeah, hand delivered it. And he knew that he had to get that ball down there.
Right.
I mean, he was holding on great security. Also great multitasking, but also being able to step and not trip up and fall.
Yes.
All 59 steps, and you have to put up with the banner from Auburn fans. And yeah, I mean, that was a good save by him, man. Props to that guy. The UGA equipment team has one more football in the butt smear building that they wouldn't have if it wasn't for his heroic efforts.
You realize, hold up though, you realize though that all of those footballs are just like, they order something like 70 new footballs every single game.
Really?
Yep.
Seems like a waste of.
Well, I think the others are used as practice.
But I mean, they're still going to be in the rotation.
Yeah, they'll be in the rotation.
I didn't know that. That's a Clark fun fact.
Clark's fun
I
fact.
had no clue about that.
Yeah, I think you're allowed something like, maybe I'm off with this number. I think it's something like 70 footballs. And I know that because Georgia, Alabama in 2015, it was pouring down rain. Awful game. Pouring down rain, and I think we went through all 70-something footballs.
Wow.
But they get them all hand-checked when they come into the stadium. The referees will literally sit there.
Make sure nobody's pulling a Tom Brady.
Right, exactly, exactly. Yes. They have to be regulation. So
that's a good. I mean, that is good IQ right there, Clark.
Yeah.
That is some good wisdom you shared upon.
Yeah.
I had no clue.
There
man.
you go. So
That's awesome.
last thing about special teams, Adam. Makai Muse.
Yeah.
He had a close call. He had a couple good returns, but there was that one punt return he had that he muffed. And you got to keep those elbows in. I know it's hard when you're running and trying to do it, but I couldn't do it.
No, I couldn't do it. I
Listen to us acting like.
Hey, JV football one time.
Yeah. Oh, you muffed a punt in JV football?
I did.
You got to tell us about this.
I muffed it. I recovered. I fell back on it, but I
man.
didn't get by. Like I was.
Wait a second. You're telling me. You're telling me who was your coach at the time? Do you remember?
Who would it have been? I can't remember who was that.
You're telling me your head coach, JV football coach, said, "Adam, you are our best option for."
Exactly. No, it was a punt safe.
return.
It was a punt safe,
Okay.
and I was playing safety to try to be back. Go back. I've never returned a punt in practice or anything. I've just seen it on TV, and I'm like, oh my god. So it came, and I missed Jace where the ball was. I didn't get under it. I had to reach behind it.
Adam.
And
you're telling me? Oh gosh, that's
under the football.
That's literally the first thing you're supposed to do.
I missed. Like I didn't have the good what do you call it? Like depth perception balance, I guess you would say, to know I was under the falling football. And it hit off my hands in the back, and I had to just fall on the ball.
Oh no.
I didn't lose it. But anyway, just saying that there's no way I could return a punt, especially at a collegiate level. And that's hard, especially when you're running backwards and trying to do that. Anyway, man, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, is Muse going to continue that? Is it going to split duties? Especially, I would like to see Clark Ladd, when he's back to health, get it when the ball could be potentially punted inside of our own 20.
Yeah.
And the judgment calls and when to let it go. I think Ladd's just and no knock on Muse, just the veteran nature of Ladd McConkey being able, if the ball's punt, to make a judgment. Do we let it go?
Right.
It's going to be a touchback, or do I need to go ahead and field this punt and fair catch it or so, where I have the ball on the 12-yard line opposed to the 1-inch line?
Yeah. Well, and Ladd had he muffed a couple last year, so I don't know. We'll see. All right, Georgia versus Kentucky, the Wildcats. Coming into town this Saturday. I'm fired up about this game, Adam. I know you are, certainly. And you at home or in the car or wherever you're at right now, you need to be fired up about this.
You better be fired up about this.
This is a big game.
It's a huge game is what it is, Clark.
It's a battle of two undefeated teams. Listen, there are three teams still currently.
Right.
Three teams that are undefeated. I just find it really funny that the three teams all three of them are in the SEC East.
Yeah.
None in the West.
Yep.
It's kind of funny. Let's talk about the history, though, of Georgia versus Kentucky. First of all, Mark Stoops has never, ever, ever, and probably, hopefully, never will
No,
beat Georgia.
Absolutely.
So 0-10,
Absolutely, man.
0-10.
Absolutely, Clark. There's been some tough football games against Coach Stoops' Wildcats, man. I talked about it in the season preview show, man. Kentucky's a physical football team. You ever heard me say that? Mm-mm. Kentucky is a physical football team. They're going to bring their tails down here from Lexington, man. They're going to travel through Cherokee, North Carolina, and come down here.
Adam, I think they'll fly.
Yeah, they'll fly. But the fan base will come down here through Cherokee, North Carolina. Maybe. Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
And they'll come down through here and they'll be ready to go. Their fan base will be juiced. They see SEC East championships for the first time in their sights, man. There's been let down against Georgia when SEC East championship implications were on the line. You think about this now, Carter. You think about it real hard, man. 2018, there was a big top 10 matchup in Lexington. We beat them by 17 then. Probably the best fundamental from beginning to end game Georgia has played against Kentucky. I felt like.
Yeah.
And you'd be satisfied with the performance as a Georgia fan. Of course, you love the win, but you know. And 2019, do you remember that game, Clark? Was it 14-7?
Gosh, yes, something like that.
And when they had a wide receiver, Lynn Bowden, at quarterback, it was in the rain in Athens, and it was just miserable, miserable. And we barely escaped there. 2020 was the COVID year up in Lexington. We went up there, and that's when. Oh man, what happened that game? Oh, it was we only won like 7 or 10 points that year too. It was very close, very close. 2021, man, I think we had a pretty good game. Won by what 14? We didn't cover the spread there because at the end, but won by about 14, 17 points there. And then last year, of course, 16-7, man. And so anyway, and Kirby said it, how physical this team is, and they're going to be nothing more than Saturday. They're not going to change their identity because they're coming to play Georgia. They're going to try to run the football, and it's going to be Clark. And what's going to determine this game is, are we going to stop the run, or are we going to let them have their way and do what they want to do?
Yep. Georgia is 31-4-2 in Athens versus the Wildcats.
Yeah.
Wow. One of those. Tell us.
No, you go ahead.
No.
I was just going to say, I know
of one. I can't remember.
2009. Terrible. Terrible night. We lost to Kentucky in Athens in 2009. And then it was 1977 was one when Prince Charles. I don't remember that one. I've just heard about it in the history books, man. That probably one of the worst Georgia home losses ever. That's probably Kentucky's best football season to date. Prince Charles from England. Prince from England wanted to come to Athens to watch some college football, man. And we go lay an egg and get beat by Kentucky with Prince Charles in attendance.
That's not good. You can't have that.
Comment below if you remember that game.
Yeah. There actually may be some listeners that were alive then. That's pretty cool.
Remember that. Yep.
Georgia.
Not the other two. I can't remember.
Yeah, me neither. Georgia currently has a 13-game winning streak against the Cats.
2009 was the last loss. Then.
Yep. Georgia is currently a 14.5-point favorite.
Man.
And listen, that number has come down from 17. So it opened, we were 17-point favorites. So what that's telling you is
big money starting.
Kentucky's people are kind of putting their money on
Kentucky a little bit, Clark.
Maybe not to win outright.
Ray Davis and the boys up there in the bluegrass state, Clark.
Maybe not necessarily.
Get a little bit behind them a little bit.
Yeah, maybe not necessarily to win it outright, but people are believing in them. So, Kentucky, hey, don't be fooled. They are a very good football team. I mean, they really haven't played much of anybody other than Florida. They beat the brakes off Florida, which is always satisfying. They're kind of like us, though. Still a little unproven, right?
Right.
Two different levels.
That's what the national narrative is.
Yes,
I think they got a bunch more respect. They weren't ranked until this past week when Florida went up there and they killed them. So,
their defense is ranked in the top 20 in terms of total defense. We're right ahead of them. I think maybe 16th or something.
Brad White will always pump out a good defense.
Yeah, he certainly will.
Very well, good physical defense. Brad White's got up there.
They'll be ready to
Very
play
underrated
this week.
Coordinator. Yeah,
absolutely. They have a running back named Ray Davis. If you don't know that already, now you know. His name is Ray Davis, and he is kind of having a great year. He totaled 280 rushing yards against Florida. He had 4 touchdowns. Wow. I don't know if they were all 4 rushing. I'm pretty sure he had 1 passing touchdown. 5th-year senior running back. So this guy's played a lot of football. Yeah. I remember him, I think last year he got some reps maybe.
Well, he tore apart Kentucky, man, when Vanderbilt beat Kentucky.
He tore
Ray
apart.
Davis.
Oh,
he was transferred from Vanderbilt.
That's right.
So he transferred from Vanderbilt, man, and when he was at Vanderbilt, he laced Kentucky, and I think that's when Mark Stoops was like, "Wait, we might need to get this guy." It's worked out good for him.
Yeah, for sure. Devin Leary, he's also a transfer. He transferred from NC State, right?
Yeah, he did. I mean, he was one of the more highly touted quarterbacks in the portal this class, man. And from what I've heard, and kind of seen that he hasn't had the most impressive numbers to date as far as what the expectation level was when he was in Lexington. I don't think he's done much through there. I think Kentucky's done a lot of their damage on the ground with Ray Davis. But I think Leary has not had the best of starts of seasons from what I've heard.
Well, let's hope it doesn't get any better this upcoming week.
That's exactly right. Yes, sir.
He's a 6-year senior. He's also played a lot of football. But, hey, yeah, I think if you're Georgia, you stack the box this week and you tell Devin Leary, hey, buddy.
Yes, sir.
I pray you throw the football.
That's right.
Dare him to. So
that's right.
I think we're going to see a lot of that. But if they do throw the football, they'll probably be throwing to number 9, Tavion Robinson. This is a guy I think you mentioned kind of preseason. He's a big playmaker for them on the perimeter. He's their leading receiver. So
this is probably Kentucky's best wide receiver room that they've had ever, I would say, between Robinson and then Barry and Brown and Dane Key. I think Brown and Key might be sophomores. They're young, but were freshmen last year and did really good as freshmen receivers. I know Dane Key was, and Robinson. So probably the most talented wide receiver room that Kentucky's had. So definitely not a below average wide receiver room that they have in Lexington. I think the problem has been one of these things that the light just hadn't come on with Leary yet with this offense, and as far as just the explosive plays through the air. And one of those things, man, you get Liam Cohen back from the Los Angeles Rams, offensive coordinator from the Rams in 2022, was Kentucky's coordinator in 21 when they won 10 games, Clark. So a guy who, a very good pro mind from the Sean McVay coaching tree, highly respected, Clark. And I think, very, very well could be a dangerous offense. Dangerous team overall, man. Yeah. Good offensive line this year. Obviously, you saw what they did against Florida. They got a new O-line coach, and I think stuff is jailed up there. And one of these things, man, that you got to be careful. All the pieces are in play, and especially if the lights go on for Leary, could be very dangerous. Very, very, very dangerous.
For sure. So, I think you summed it up there pretty well, Adam. This is going to be a good Kentucky team, and they're going to be ready to come into Athens and pull an upset, and which it just sounds bizarre, but if they win this game, they truly are number 1 in the East. They have, that's not necessarily true. I guess Missouri still would be undefeated.
But they definitely be in the driver's seat.
Right.
Definitely be in the driver's seat and heavy favorites, man. But this is one thing you cannot allow them to have a balanced attack and move the ball with the balanced attack on you, man. You got to make them one-dimensional like every game and really eat but it's dangerous. A lot of people don't realize how good this offense can be. When you think about Kentucky, you don't think about it, but there's a lot of good football players on this Kentucky offense. And you just alluded to the defense where they're at nationally. So, a really good football team. Yeah. And we talk about culture. This is a team that's not trying to build a culture in the sense of trying to find an identity. This team has had a culture laid by Mark Stoops, a blue-collar team, Clark. A lunch pail guy. We talk about this, but this really is a blue-collar team, man, and what he's built it off of. He's popped off a lot of big wins. Georgia is the one trophy he does not have, and I would say probably the one he wants more than any of them. I know Kentucky football fans will tell you the same thing. So you're going to find a very inspired, motivated Kentucky team coming in, man. But I love that it's at home. I love that, honestly, coming off of what we just came of, I think bodes well for us.
Yeah, I'm there with you. Some keys to the game. Don't give Kentucky free possessions.
Exactly.
That's a pretty obvious thing.
But it's something we got to say now because of where we have been, even against UAB in the previous game. Yeah. Ooh, those turnover bugs bit us.
And the fact that your drives now, the time of possession is naturally going down with the new play clock rules. You've got to be careful turning the ball over and gift wrapping the other team. And this is one of those teams that they'll take advantage. They will capitalize. And so can't do that. Don't give Kentucky free possessions. Another thing is, Adam, win the field position battle.
That's right.
That could be big in this game because I do think both defenses will be ready to play.
They will.
Kentucky has a very good defense, so we got to be careful with that. And then to take better angles when helping in run support.
That's right.
They are going to bounce the ball. They're going to take a few plays, I'm sure, out of Auburn and UAB's playbook and try to get out on the perimeter and running the ball. So we got to take better angles in that safety position. I know that's probably a point of concern for them this week at practice.
Yeah, man, I hope what we talked about with the defense of the Auburn game, man. Hopefully we're able to get better on our outside. We talk about setting the edge and containment. That's the stuff we want to see better with this defense. We feel like that it can click and it will be fixable, and I truly think it will be. We'll see it at this point in the season. But I think I'm excited about and I could very well be wrong because track records, I've been wrong about every prediction I had of the opposing offense is going to do, it seems like. I do not think you're going to see many RPO style stuff from Kentucky. I think it's going to be more traditional handoff in the backfield, draw type plays, right? Counters and what have you.
Right.
So I think it'll be a different ground attack that Auburn did against us that Kentucky will do. Maybe they might see some stuff on film they implement this week that Cohen will. But, I think the narrative is, everybody's thinking, man, Georgia just gave up the most rushing yards they have in a game since 2018 in 5 years. And then Kentucky's just gashed Florida for over 300. Man, Kentucky's going to run the football over Georgia. Clark, when you think you got it figured out with college football is what I've learned. In some cases, yeah, it does. But a lot of cases, more than not, it's not what you think is going to happen.
Yeah.
Man.
And that's the beauty of this game.
That's right. That's
right. It really does. It's a mystery. And that's what keeps it intriguing, I think, for a lot of us.
That's right. So it's because that should tell you, oh man, this is, and I think it will be a close game this time. I really do. But I do think Georgia is going to be very good on their defensive front and limit Ray Davis. And I will say I do not expect Ray Davis to have the day in Athens that he did in Lexington against Florida last week.
If so, then we've got some issues.
Then, that's a whole different topic, man. But I think we're going to be ready to go, and you're just going to see a different run defense from Georgia.
Yeah. Let's talk about some last week's games. Let's start with Utah at Oregon State. Adam, Oregon State, DJ Uyunglele.
DJ Uyunglele,
Sure. 21-7. Good on the Beavers.
Look at him on a Friday night winning in Coral Vallis, Oregon, Clark. That's, exciting.
Exciting. Yeah, sure. Wow.
It's good. They beat an undefeated Utah team, has won the Pac-12 the past 2 years, Clark, with a good Ken Whittingham discipline coach Utah team, Clark. You look at a developed program over there in the West, coming in there's a big win.
Ken, is it Ken?
Ken Whittingham?
Is Ken a big
Kyle Whittingham.
I was about to say, that doesn't sound right.
Kyle Whittingham.
Kyle, let me ask you this. Is Kyle kind of a lunch pail kind of guy?
No, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Physicality, defense.
We need to start giving.
Lunch pail kind of guys.
We need to start giving. We need to come up with a sticker.
Game.
Yes, like a lunch
game.
Yes.
For the best blue collar guy.
Like a sticker. A helmet sticker almost.
Yep. So that's exactly right. But Kyle Whittingham, I don't know where I got that.
I don't think Utah had Cam Rising, so that probably made.
They're having a hard time moving the football. Oh, Andy Ludwig's offense. No, he's the defense coordinator. Or is he the offense coordinator? Oh man,
I don't even know how you know that.
It bit me, Clark. I can't remember. I think he's the offensive coordinator. But anyway, he's one or the other. I can guarantee you that their offense has not looked very impressive at all. You want to talk about an offense that is a absolute just stalemate?
Stalemate, yeah. What? That's Utah's.
Yeah, they're only scoring 14-7 points a game, except when they play Florida.
Do you think Utah and Iowa? Do you think that may be like a 3-2 kind of game?
3-2 kind of game. Yeah, absolutely.
USC at Colorado.
Wow, Clark.
This was interesting.
It did
USC 48, Colorado 41, and Colorado. It's USC. I think handled. They had this game won kind of early on.
They just kind of let,
but
go
they
a
let
bit.
loose.
I think old Lincoln, God bless him, man. He loves riding the back of a Heisman. He'll get a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, stud, but just said forget the defense side of the football.
Yeah, defense is optional.
Defense is optional. A lot of people are talking about that they're going to fire Alex Grinch this year, and then hire like if Dave Aranda gets fired from Baylor, go get Dave Aranda. Like this time, Lincoln's actually going to go get a defensive mind, man. And I don't know, but. Wow. I couldn't believe, wasn't it like 41-14 at one time?
Something like that. Yeah. Colorado made a big push apparently then.
Yeah. Well, get on the Sanderses.
Yeah.
Get on the Sanderses. A good moral win up there in Boulder.
The Sanders is with an apostrophe S at the end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right, because that's the correct grammar of that. When there's an S and apostrophe,
or if it's it's Sanders, like if your name ends with an S, your last name, you can actually put an apostrophe there and it still be the same way.
But you also, I thought,
but you could do an apostrophe.
You do apostrophe, so it's optional.
It's optional.
That's stupid.
Only though
the
if
American
you have
English language would come up with just dumb stuff like that.
Right.
It's so dumb, like it's not even worth discussing, talking about, or even trying. Anyway, that's a whole different subject. If you want to get me on English comprehension, even though my mother and my grandmother were both English teachers, I don't like. Conjunctions and whatnot. And adverbs and phrases and clauses and predicates and nouns and adjectives and what have you.
Adverbs.
Let's just talk, man. Let's just communicate with each other. We don't. Who cares if it's proper or not? If one person understands the other when in conversation, then it's good enough.
I guess so.
That's my take, Clark.
Oh, you gotta be careful with that. Yeah.
How?
I don't know.
If one part, no, if you're communicating and then if you're reading the tone right of what, I understand. I think what's really hurt the English language more than anything is the text message.
Okay.
Because people do not know how to, they just put text. They don't use grammatical stuff in text, right? So you can't really understand the tone of how the text is being received, and they don't use enough of semicolons and commas and stuff to really add the dramatic pauses or really. So, I think it's just been lazy, like letter C, U, later, that type of deal. I think that's really hurt us and it's going to continue to hurt generations behind us. But anyway,
we're going to have to get a whole different podcast together just for this. This sounds amazing. Oh, man. All right, Florida at Kentucky. We kind of talked about this. Kentucky did win pretty big, 33-14.
Yeah, I'm
Suck it, Billy Napier.
It was a wild day in Lexington. Yeah, and Billy got a get out of jail free card, I think, with the win against Tennessee, right?
Right.
And I do not think that the Florida faithful are still fired up about that Tennessee win, and I think are looking at what's happened in Lexington, knowing Billy is 0-2 against a team that Florida had a 30-year winning streak against. Mm-hmm. That doesn't bode well for the future for Billy. And Billy is probably the most likable Florida coach that's ever been there.
And I still don't like him.
Think about it. Galen Hall, Steve Spurrier, Ron Zook, that's sleazeball.
Was he not on the CBS crew at one point, Ron
the Zucker?
It's Zucker.
Zucker, Ron Zucker. Ron Zook. Yeah. Ron Zook, and then Urban Meyer. I don't like Urban Meyer. And then Will Muschamp. Well, we like Will now, but at that point in time, I was not a Will Muschamp fan. Stuff he said about Georgia. McElwain. I don't like how he interacts with sharks. That's just odd. and then Mullen, enough to be said. So anyway, that losing Napier. One of the most normal human beings out there. I think. But I love him. I hope he's the coach of Florida for a while because it just Austin Armstrong, the defense coordinator. He tries to be Kirby Smart, Clark.
Oh, yes. He's got the visor, the haircut.
Did you see his post-game interview when he was breaking down his defenses and what they try to do and how they could do different things? And it was just, you need to go back and watch that.
I'll have to.
Like, really giving the whole defensive strategy to the media.
Oh, okay.
Like, everything that they try to do at the University of Florida. Like, what type of defense that they play compared, and the multiple stuff that they can do in coverages and alignments that you don't see many other people do that – most people specialize in one alignment. They could do multiple different things.
Oh, wow. Well, good for him.
You thought that you could, when you have a defense coordinator who does multiple different things, does a little bit too much, if you will, Clark, with Grantham, what they saw when you have players looking at the sidelines, just throwing up their hands on third down, and then as the snaps going, that you would learn from that and maybe let your players be players and go to a more base type deal.
Sure.
You get what I'm saying?
Like a jack of all trades, a master of none.
Yeah. And somebody, you just let your players be out there and everybody be on the same page and let your players make play. Get elite athletes and make them make play, not overcomplicate too many things. But Armstrong, he was Anyway. Enough about them.
We'll get on Kentucky with the big win there. Yeah. LSU at Ole Miss, 55-49, shootout. Another defense is optional kind of game.
Yeah, video game, Clark. Video game right there, man. So, that was crazy.
Well, LSU, I think, playoff hopes are done. I think they may start checking out this season. Wow. Yeah. Maybe.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Maybe if there was a year that there would be 2 lost teams in the college football playoff, it might be this year.
It very well could be.
I don't know. We will see. It is going to get very, very interesting in the SEC West.
Yeah, and LSU only has one SEC, though they have 2 losses, only one of them is SEC, so they still technically have a shot at Atlanta.
That's right.
And hey, if you win the SEC championship with 2 losses.
That's right.
Maybe pan out. I don't know.
Wait
a minute, Adam. Has that ever happened?
Winning the SEC championship with 2
losses?
Yeah. LSU did it in 2007.
No. I'm saying in the playoff era.
Oh, not in the playoff era.
Right. We've never had that scenario.
No,
right?
I don't think so. No.
Georgia approached Atlanta in. Wait a minute now. Yeah, I don't think that's ever happened.
No, that's never happened. There's never been a 2-loss team. Definitely. Definitely not been a 2-loss team. Win the SEC championship. I don't think there's been one since 07. LSU, they had 2 losses in 07 when they won the national championship.
Anyway, South Carolina at Tennessee, 41-20. Tennessee wins.
Spencer Rattler said it was their Super Bowl.
I was about to say, did you see that?
Unbelievable,
my
man.
gosh.
Unbelievable. Yeah, that's got to hurt for old Shane, man. I know Heupel and them had this one circled. They had the old black jerseys on. Needham was rocking. Big win. Yeah, but whatever.
Good for them, I guess.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Carolina, they're in trouble, man. 2-3.
Oh,
we'll see how
man.
that season goes.
Yeah. And then last but certainly not least, the game of the week. From last week, Shippensburg, 23, Shepherd, 30. Adam,
Wow.
I'm almost positive we both picked Shepherd.
We did because of what the history. Good fight by Shippensburg, Clark. I mean, to hold that game, that's a moral win.
No, Shippensburg didn't win. Shepherd.
I said it's a moral win, Clark.
Oh, a
This is
moral.
like
Sorry,
Auburn
yes.
Like Auburn
Yes.
just had. Shippensburg just
Sorry.
replicated it. About the same thing, So, yeah. So good for Shippensburg getting a moral victory,
Sure.
Clark. Something they can hang their hat on and
There you
build
go.
upon.
There
A
you go.
foundation that could be laid that you could just, build upon.
Well, good on the Shepherd Rams.
Shepherd
for
Rams,
winning
man,
that
just
one.
continuing the dominance in that series.
Had a good run game, too.
Did they?
So, yeah.
Good.
Their receiver had a good game.
Good.
So,
That's good to hear. That's
Yep.
good to hear.
All right, this week's pick 'em. We got some pretty good games. Not a whole lot of ranked matchups.
I lost it.
Is that Oklahoma's?
I actually think it was a mixture of Texas and Oklahoma.
Adam, I was about to say that did not
not
sound like either. It sounded like Texas for a little bit.
I lost it. I'm done committed to this. I gotta
No. I know.
go. What's Oklahoma's?
Oh shoot! Should we look it up? Let's just look it up right quick.
Oh, yeah, we're already going long. But who cares?
Homa fight song. Here we go. You ready for this, Adam?
Yep.
I hope this doesn't get flagged and we get copyrighted.
No. Bumping along, bum. They need to cut out all the hoopla at the beginning. Get to the point. Hammer the trumpets. Bum ba bum ba bum ba dum ba bum ba dum ba bum ba ba. Ba-da-lum dum dum ba-da-lum bum bum ba-da-lum bum 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 ba-da-lum ba-da-lum bum bum ba-da-lum bum bum ba-da-lum ba-da-lum bum bum bum.
I guess we got to do Texas now. We're never going to get done with this.
Who cares?
my
They can break it
gosh.
up into 4 segments on the commute to work in the next 2 days.
Yes. Hold on.
The eyes of Texas are upon you.
No, this isn't it.
They got to hammer down into something else. It's Texas 5.
Wait. Dun, 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 dun,
Bum,
dun,
yeah, something like that. I can't get the end. I can't get the end.
Go Longhorns.
Texas fight, baby.
What is wrong with us? Oh, that's good stuff. All right, all
The
that.
microphone went away.
We need a time.
Red River Rivalry, Dallas State Fair. We need to get somebody, Clark. I'll do this one. 12 o'clock, ABC prime time. The best cotton candy in the whole entire United States of America resides in Dallas, Texas, at the fairgrounds of the old Cotton Bowl for this Midwest Classic, Clark.
You think they got good funnel cakes over
And
there?
cotton candy, baby.
Yes.
It's a state fair. Of course, they got good funnel cakes.
What about some
the
good-
best funnel cakes you can get?
What about some good grilled corn
Oh,
on
yeah,
a
you
stick?
best believe it. All
Like
those
chicken on a stick.
Oh, yeah. This would be a game I would want to go to if Georgia wasn't playing football and I had the funds to do it, man. The free time, split venue, 50-50, neutral site.
What team would you
Boom.
support in that kind of situation?
I just go just to be mutual. I don't really particularly
Would you
care
have
for
a-
either one of them now. My hate for Texas is started in the Sugar Bowl that year.
Right.
And I was like, whatever, I don't know. I like their fight song and whatnot. But and then the A.D. Mitchell thing, I don't really like Texas. I don't like Brett Venables because of Clemson. So I don't really care for either
So
one
you
of
just
them.
wear a white shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, who's going to win this football game, Clark?
I tell you, Adam, this is going to be, per usual, a
Yeah.
shootout. Now, last year, Texas put it on Oklahoma. I think for Brent Venables, his job, that sake, you can't go and get just absolutely skull dragged against Texas this year again. That can't happen. So it's got to be a closer game, I feel like. Give me Texas, but not by a lot.
They ain't played nobody, Paul. Oklahoma ain't played nobody. They have not played anybody. Anybody. Give me the horns, Clark.
Okay.
Pulling away in the second half. Steve Sarkisian said they're going to be a fourth quarter team this year. Something we haven't seen from Texas in a long time. They have proved it thus far. I will have to say, as bad as I hate to admit it, I think it will be close in the first half, Clark. But then I think the Texas defense will eat on Dylan Gabriel, and Quinn Ewers will pull away, and Texas will win by 13 points.
Good pick. I tell you, Adam, good pick.
Thank you, Lee.
Yeah. Did you know that Texas is number 2 in red zone defense? Because they really are. That was not my best Lee Corso.
That was a good Lee Corso.
I've done better.
Desmond, what would Desmond say about it?
I tell you what now, Adam. Oklahoma better watch out. The horn's gonna stick them. That's my best Desmond. Oh, man. Maybe we should just do impersonations during this segment when we pick games.
Oh, this is completely gone off the track.
Oh, yeah.
So we got to reel it back.
All right, we'll reel it back in.
I love
here.
it. That's good. That's good stuff.
Let's reel it back in with LSU at Missouri.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
12 o'clock. I don't know what network they're on. I forgot to put that
Let's
down.
say
I think it's ESPN.
Espen.
Probably SEC Network. Probably
Espen game. Yep.
Adam, this is an intriguing matchup. You got a Mizzou team that's 5-0.
Yeah, man.
That's playing for really, just to keep going, right?
Yeah, man.
Eli Drinkwitz's job. Then on the other side of the ball, you got LSU, who's coming off a heartbreaking loss in Ole Miss.
Yeah.
They're 3-2. You got to believe they know that this is kind of a must-win game if they want to even keep their SEC championship dreams alive.
Right.
Adam, who do you like in this one?
Oh, man. I think LSU is going to win, but I really want to pick Missouri because it's going to be a game where everybody's going to be fired up in Columbia. 11 a.m. Central start. Everybody would be up and at them, would have got them a biscuit to get. I don't know what they eat in Missouri. They might not be big biscuit guys. Maybe an omelet. They were going to get them an omelet and them, drink a little bit of hot tea, green tea a little bit, going and getting excited about going to watch some Missouri Tiger football. And Brady Cook's playing good. Very underrated quarterback right now, Clark. Just broke the all-time most consecutive completions without interception or pass attempts or whatever. Anyway, completions without interception. That made no sense. Pass attempts without an interception.
Yeah.
Give me LSU with all that said, though, Clark.
Wow.
They bounce back, and they outscore them in a pretty high scoring affair.
Adam, I want to go with Mizzou. I want to go with the Tigers from Columbia.
Yeah.
And Adam, this is ridiculous because, preseason I said LSU is going to go all the way. And they do have a good football team. And I do think this will be a very close game. But I don't know. There's something just my gut tells me Mizzou is going to somehow find a way. And you know what? It's going to come down to a field goal.
Okay.
And the thicker kicker is going to nail one.
All right.
They've done it this year before.
So
at home.
Let it happen again. Go ahead.
Give me the Missouri Tigers. Cannot believe I'm saying that.
All right. I like it.
Next game on the slate, Alabama at Texas A&M, 3:30 CBS. I've never heard that version. I was trying to listen to it the other day on the broadcast. I've never heard that version where it goes that high.
The extended version, it did a long time ago.
Okay.
If you go on YouTube and you watch like the full 2-minute production, like at the very end, it gives you chill bumps.
Oh yeah,
like the extended, not what they show every Saturday.
I see.
Like the whole main theme.
Okay.
Everybody go Google CBS college football theme, like the 2-minute version.
Extended.
Yes. Yeah.
Alabama, I think Adam is going to win, but it's going to once again this is going to be a close game. Give me Nick Saban. I think they're starting to kind of gel. I like what I saw from Alabama.
Yeah.
If you're an Alabama fan, you got to like what you saw last week against Mississippi State. They're kind of peaking at the right time.
Potentially.
Texas A&M, though, they're going to put up a fight.
Yeah, give me. I tell you what, Clark. Give me the Texas A&M defensive line, Clark, to stop the Jalen Milroe running attack.
Oh,
Max Johnson leads Texas A&M to just enough points to win this game, 24-20.
Wow.
Give me the A&M Aggies at home. Well, yeah, why not? Probably not, but I just want Alabama to lose bad, so I'm going to pick A&M like I did Ole Miss 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It works. Yeah, give me A&M, Clark.
I like it. I like the confidence. Yeah, close game, more than likely.
Yeah.
Notre Dame at Louisville, 7:30 ABC. Just a fun game.
At Papa John's Stadium on a Saturday night.
Wait a second. Let me say this. The only reason this this game is even on our list is because it was one of 5 ranked matchups.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
we've already listed other
Louisville-
3. So.
Louisville slipped in there, undefeated under Brian Brom in his first year. Old guy coming back to the home.
Okay.
Coming back to his college that he attended, and Notre Dame's going to smoke him, Clark.
Okay.
Notre Dame's going to smoke him. Louisville is a fraud. Easiest schedule in the ACC without a doubt, and Notre Dame's going to beat them.
I'm with you there, Adam.
All right, that's good.
Sam
That's
Hartman's
good.
about
That's
to
everybody.
absolutely.
Everybody just interlock. Our Irish. Our Notre Dame fighting Irish.
Yeah, why
not
not?
really our Irish, but yeah, Notre Dame this week in our pick.
Yep.
Marcus Freeman, baby. Get 11 men on the field, brother.
Marcus
Let 'em roll.
freaking Freeman. Yeah.
Marcus freaking Freeman.
We need 11.
That's right.
All right, game of the week.
Whoa, baby.
You ready for this one, Adam?
For the game of the week? Yes, I am. I'm ready to go.
All right, we got the Lebanon Valley Flying Dutchman.
Yes.
You can't make that up. At the Widener, Widener, Widener University Pride.
Pride.
As in like lion
A lot of
pride.
direction. I was about to say, a lot of direction.
Oh,
We
yeah.
go with this, Clark.
Yeah, they used to be,
We'll
I
go back.
think, the Pioneers or something, but for some reason they changed it years back, and now they're like Pride of Lions. So kickoff 1:00 this Saturday in the weather, Adam. Nice 67 degrees.
Man, inject that in my veins right there.
God, you are like destroying your forearm doing that.
Injected in my veins, baby.
Man, that's got to hurt. I've been waiting for probably 2 years to finally pick a good game for the Flying Dutchman, Adam. I think that's
Okay.
such a unique name.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I,
very much is.
that's kind of
Very
how
much
I
is.
proof these games of
Yeah.
the week.
Are
I
you-
look for the best kind of
Are you a
mascot.
fan of the Dutch?
Yeah, I like the Flying Dutchman. I'm about to show
No,
you.
the Dutch, Clark.
Oh, just the
the
Dutch.
Dutch in general. Just
Oh,
the
yeah,
Dutch.
yeah.
Okay,
I am
all right,
Dutch.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Good
I
deal,
come
man.
from. I think I'm maybe. I don't know how lineages work and that kind of thing, and blood and genetics, but I do
You
think
need to
I'm.
get on Ancestor.com
yeah.
and trace some roots back, man.
I think I'm
Get a
about
package.
40%
That's right.
Dutch.
Get a saliva package and get it back and see what kind
That's
of
so
percentages
gross.
you got. So anyway,
Can you imagine being on the
That's right,
receiving
that's
end of
right.
that?
Yeah.
Gosh, gross. All right, Lebanon Valley Flying Dutchman. Let's talk about them first. So,
Okay.
they're a private college in Pennsylvania. The students have this tradition, and I think this is great, of marching to the president's house to request the day off before Thanksgiving.
Does he give it to him?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
I think that's like a given kind of thing, but you just still got to go do it.
Yep.
So they get the day off before Thanksgiving because they march to the president's house.
Nice.
Their football team is currently 3-1 on the season, playing pretty good ball.
Good ball. Yeah, definitely.
Respectable.
I mean, absolutely.
Now let's take a look at their mascot.
All right. This is going to be good.
Now, I don't know if
this
he has.
is why you watch it on YouTube, folks.
Yeah. If you're not watching on YouTube, you're missing out on the game of the week. I don't know this guy's name, but he's just called the Dutchman. All right.
Okay.
This mascot, Adam, was created by a company in Canada, which has created costumes for the Philadelphia Eagles, the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the New York Islanders. So you know it's going to be a good mascot. Are you ready?
Yes, give it to me.
There he is.
Yes. Love it. Love it. Love the smirk on his face and the long blonde locks, man.
Yeah.
And is he wearing what kind of?
It looks like a sailor, like a tie.
Yes, I love it. I love it, man. I love it. That is wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah. I wonder what his name is. I mean, it kind of looks like, I don't know of any good Dutch names, but I feel like Mark would be kind of a good name for him.
Yeah, probably so. But I like it. I love the eyebrows, the curl and the eyebrows. I mean, what a heck of a face that they thought that's going to have to be just froze there. You know?
Have you ever seen Shrek, Adam?
Yeah, I've seen Shrek.
Do you remember Lord Farquaad?
Yes.
That's exactly. Is that how you say it? Farquaad? I'm pretty
Maybe,
sure.
I don't know. But
That's exactly what he looks like
it.
there.
That's beautiful, Clark. That's a good find.
And
That's
I
a good
don't
find.
understand why his hair's blonde, but his eyebrows are like pitch black, jet black dark.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting.
odd.
That is interesting. But yeah, I think I can see. I get behind that as a Dutchman, Flying Dutchman.
Yeah.
I like that. Great mascot.
Oh yeah. Notable alumni: Henry Two Bits, Woman. He was a class of 24, and I'm not talking about 2024. I'm talking about 1924. He was a former NFL quarterback who played with the Frankfurt Yellow Jackets in Philadelphia. I guess that was an NFL team.
I have no clue.
Me neither.
I have no clue. I don't know.
He won a an NFL championship is what it said online. I don't know if that's a Super Bowl,
right,
or a championship.
Probably had just championship. Probably
know if
old
they call
AFL team or something. I don't know. That's amazing.
So
Interesting.
another guy, Paul Keene, is considered a pioneer of the organic farming movement in the United States. So there you go.
Okay.
Adam, what do you think about organic farming?
Oh, we're not getting into this right now.
No, we're not
getting into this. This is not the podcast. We need to get into organic farming. Let's just say, have fun feeding the booming population only on organic farming in the future.
Okay.
That's all. Anyway, that's all I'm going to leave it with.
Okay.
Anywho.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I mean, good for them if you want to do it in the garden, whatever. But if you want to make it commercialized, organic farming,
mass
to
produced,
feed, do you think the people in Somalia care what their food as if it was organic or not when we're dropping care packages in off a bomber, United States Air Force planes, Clark?
Oh man. I don't know what to do anymore. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Adam, no, they don't. They don't.
All right, anyway, that's enough. That's enough of this. We don't need to get into organic farming.
The organic farming thing.
All right.
Yeah. All right, anyway. Moving on. Their head coach is J.R. Drake. All right. Not Junior Drake, just J.R. Adam, he is the acting head coach / defense coordinator. So I don't know if that means
that's double duty. Ooh, that's tough.
If he's an interim, you know what we said about.
We talk about interims and what our grandmas always tell us. You can never pick a game with an interim head coach for that team to win.
Did your grandmother tell you that when you were growing up?
Yeah, sure.
Me too. I'm glad I wasn't the only one.
That's right.
So J.R. Drake and the Flying Dutchman of Lebanon Valley, they're going to see Adam.
Okay,
they're going to be meeting the Widener University Pride. All right.
Yeah.
So Widener, they are a private school in Pennsylvania as well. So kind of an in-state. I mean, this is a huge in-state rivalry.
Right.
All eyes in the Pennsylvania. The state are going to be on this matchup. All right. So the football team is also 3-1 on this season.
Yep.
They've got a lot of similarities here. There's a good tradition, Adam, of rubbing the noses of the lion statues on campus.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
So
all right. Let's go. Let's go. Crank it up a notch, baby.
You want some good
fired
luck?
Up about it before the tank.
Right.
It's. I think it's more normal than petting a rock.
Yeah, massaging a rock.
Exactly. So.
Yeah, me too. I think that's good. That's pretty cool. So that's their tradition there at Widener. Mascot history. They've got two mascots. It's kind of a Daisy and Donald kind of thing.
Okay.
A Mickey and Minnie.
A lioness.
Right. We've got Chester and Melrose. What do you think about old? I'm assuming Chester's the male, and then Melrose is the female.
Man. That's a pitiful looking lion mascot, Clark. What did we call that thing again? The main.
Yes.
The main's pitiful.
Yeah, I'm not impressed.
Not impressed by either or. I'm glad they graduated in this picture. That's good. Always good to get higher education.
Yeah.
So good on both of them.
Right.
Should be a successful couple. But
you think they'll have kids?
The great tone of old Melrose there. Just don't. Nah.
She looks more like maybe a panther as opposed
Looks
to
like a house cat.
Oh yeah.
Or a rat.
I do respect the eyelashes on Melrose though.
Yeah, that's good. Let everybody know it's a female. So
yeah,
interesting.
You think they'll have kids one day?
Potentially. I don't know. Chester and Melrose. It's not impressed. I was expecting better.
Yeah, me too.
Definitely, the Flying Dutchman had the better mascot this week.
Absolutely. Notable alumni include Matthew McGrory. He's the world's tallest actor, 7'6". I think he passed, unfortunately, not too long ago. And then
did he hit an airplane run into him?
Adam, God. Frederick E. Humphreys. This is the other guy I was going to mention. This guy may have hit old Matthew.
Oh,
because he was the first military pilot trained by the Wright brothers and the first to fly solo. Oh my gosh. What a coincidence you said that.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, that's awesome. That is interesting history.
Man.
That is interesting history.
So we gotta end this show now. Oh boy, we're getting to the end of this, folks. But head coached by Mike. Oh boy, this is a tough one.
Baronick.
Baragnac.
Yep.
Baragnac.
Baragnac. Yep.
So, Mike Baragnac is what I'm going with.
Yep.
So that's their head coach. The Widener Pride, Adam, they lead the series 50-25, 75 games played in all.
Dang it, boy. Dang
So who are you going to take in this? Are you going to take the Pride, the Lions, if you will, or you going to go with the Flying Dutchman? Who do you like?
Give me the Pride, baby.
Oh.
And with their terrible mascots, Widener.
Okay.
Win this football game. Get them up.
Adam, I'm going to go on the opposite side of you, and I'm going to take the Flying Dutchman.
Let's do a hamburger bet on this. You owe me a cheeseburger from Wendy's or somewhere, maybe if Widener wins.
All right.
And then if the Dutchman win, I'll buy you a cheeseburger.
I'd prefer a Big Mac from McDonald's. I haven't had one in a while.
All right. Well, that's what we'll do next episode, and we will let everybody see.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, if you've enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review. Please leave us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It does help us grow. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to our channel and drop a comment below who you think is going to win this Georgia versus Kentucky matchup this upcoming Saturday.
Going to be a big one, Clark. Going to be a big one.
Certainly is. All right, Georgia versus Kentucky, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, ESPN. Who do you think is going to be on the call for this one?
I think we're going to get Todd Blackledge and Sean McDonough, baby.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Let's go. Get it up. Get it up.
All right.
I actually think they announce announcers, but I don't remember.
Oh, me neither.
I don't remember. I can't remember what it is. I think that has been announced. But anyway, we guess.
Yep.
Let's see.
Score prediction. This is coming top of the dome. I haven't even thought about this. I'm going to go with Georgia 37. I think we're going to put up a bunch of points.
All right.
I really do. I think it's going to kind of come together.
I like it.
And give me Kentucky 13, Adam.
13. I love that, Cole.
I think it all clicks this week. Georgia
it,
37, Kentucky 13. That's what I'm feeling right now.
I love it, man. I love it. A lot of eyes are going to be on this football game, Clark, hoping for a Kentucky upset. The whole nation wants Georgia to lose the football game. America's sick of Georgia right now. The college football fans in this nation, I don't care if it's from Portland, Oregon down to Miami, Florida, are tired of seeing Georgia win football games. I hope they lose every time they step on the field. It's Georgia against the world, baby. And I think Georgia's going to come out, control the line of scrimmage this game, man. The narrative that everybody's going to say that's probably going to be happening, the doubt that's creeping in on this Georgia football team is going to be put to rest. A game you could easily lose, Clark, but Kirby Smart and staff will have this team ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
Georgia's going to win this football game 31-17. Get in Athens Saturday night or be with your loved ones because it's going to be a fun time. 31-17, Dogs on top, halfway point, undefeated, ranked number 1 in the nation. You can't ask for better. Another great week to be a Georgia Bulldog, baby.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't get any better than this. Enjoy every second of it. God bless y'all. We love y'all. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.